full on. Matt, good morning.
Good morning, Jonathan. Welcome to the Midland Country Club and the Dow Championship. Is there a better place to be today?
It's a beautiful day for this.
It is fantastic. And you know, our friend Jennifer Wojcik said the most important thing, hey, we're going to get rain and storms, but when there's a golf outing, doggone it, we do it at night when the golf is done. And I think that things are going to time out well for us this week.
The weather knows its place today.
A lot of times on the golf course it does not, unfortunately. So we are praying that it works out well. I know we're in for a couple exciting days of weather, but more importantly, a couple exciting days of golf.
Absolutely. Exciting and golf don't really go together in my mind, but, you know, to each their own.
You know, if you're going to show up at a golf outing wearing a pair of Levi Strausses,
okay,
maybe you're not built for golf. Maybe this isn't your thing. And maybe this is something we're going to have to teach you and you're going to have to learn.
You know, yesterday, Charlie introduced me on the morning team as legendary golfer extraordinary, and I said, you know, I have never missed a shot in golf. Not once.
Do you at least partake in a little putt-putt action?
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay, see, there you go.
On occasion.
So I will tell you, at least on a green, you're no better or worse than the average person at that point.
Great.
You're good. So be honest, it is. I have been at this golf outing every year since its inception, and I've watched it grow, and I've watched it through the years, and it's truly one of my favorite weeks of the year. I really think it does a magnificent job showcasing Midland and the Great Lakes Bay region. One of the things that I love most is the people of this region come out in droves to volunteer and participate and really welcome the world's best female golfers. And I guess I would start there, Jonathan. There's various sports, and we've seen it, right? You have been to an occasional Saginaw Spirit game.
Oh, yes.
Some would call you a
fan,
massively rabid, over-the-top, incredible, number one Saginaw Spirit level fan.
Maybe. Some might say that.
Something along those lines, right? And we do get to see some kids that go on, like Michael Misa. We see NHL players, which is great. But they're still developing. What I love about this tournament is that we literally welcome the best women's golfers on the planet. 11 of the top 25 golfers in the world are here, including, which I'm excited to see this weekend, Nelly Korda, who has won 4 tournaments this year. She's the number 1 golfer in the world. She's just coming off of winning the U.S. Open. Just a dynamic player, 27 years old. And where is she this weekend? Right here in the Great Lakes Bay region in Midland, Michigan.
Yep.
It's awesome.
So I know we're going to be saying it a lot over the next few days, but this is an LPGA event. It's the only team event on the tour. Is that right?
It is. It's really unique. So when they start tomorrow, they do different formats. One day they do alternating shots. So if you and I were a team, wow, would we be bad, number 1. But number 2, how it would work, I'd take a shot, and then wherever I left you, you take the next shot, and vice versa. On the second day, it's best ball. So everyone plays their own shot, but only the best score goes. So if I birdie and you hit an 8, which is probably most likely, we take my birdie on the scorecard. So what's great then, both players can really just kind of go for it. So on that second and fourth day, the scores are really low because they know that they have a teammate. They can be aggressive with their shots, and you generally see just some numbers that are out of this world in terms of low scoring.
Cool. Well, we'll be talking more about the tournament as the week moves along, but we're also going to be joined by a number of fantastic guests that are out here for the tournament or with organizations that are heavily involved, because this is very much a team effort to put on. So today we are joined by Nicole Wilson with the Midland Business Alliance. Nicole, good morning.
Yes, good morning, Jonathan. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. So I assume the Midland Business Alliance is heavily interested in the Dow Championship coming to the Midland Country Club.
Yes, absolutely. And certainly in my role, I serve as the Vice President of Economic Development for the Midland Business Alliance. So certainly the economic impact of such an event and bringing folks into our region, awareness of the region, awareness of our community is incredibly important. So absolutely, we're paying attention and excited to have both visitors and professionals alike.
So this is an event that's been happening here in Midland for years. What kind of economic impact do we see when professional golf comes to Midland, Michigan. People get up, get out of their houses, come in, not just locals, but people visiting for the tournament itself.
Yes, absolutely. If memory serves, I think we're north of about 65 million in economic impact.
Wow.
For the tournament over its lifetime, and I think last year was around 20 million in and of itself, if my memory serves, and I think I'm right.
Yeah, and I imagine that trajectory of flows with the popularity of the tournament as it gets more and more well known, and a beautiful golf course as well. What is, well, Matt, you look like you've got something to say.
Well, she said two of my favorite words, which are economic development,
Yeah.
and put
Yes.
them together. I love hearing about economic development because one of the things everyone talks about is how do you build the population back in the state of Michigan, back in the Great Lakes Bay region. And Nicole, you're the expert in this space. So it's the classic question, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Do the people have to be here for the jobs to be here, or do the jobs come and the people will follow? Which one is it?
I think it's both. I think it happens in both ways, and maybe I'm taking the safe space here, but certainly attracting new industry and new jobs and new employers to our region is a key focus for the things that we do, as well as, of course, supporting the incredible companies that have already invested and continue to invest here. Jobs are typically the motivator, right? Although we have seen that also from an event perspective in other communities where a large-scale event brings people in and it creates an awareness of all of the great things happening in the community and in the region. So certainly the LPGA and the Dow Championship absolutely could have that draw, and we would love any of you out there listening that are attending the Dow Championship and would like more information about how to relocate here to Midland. We'd love to have you. From an industry perspective, anytime we're bringing a new employer and the specialty or the industry or the sector has a specific draw, we'll see folks relocate. Now, Midland historically and continues to be one of the higher concentration for the chemical industry, material science, advanced materials, research and development, and so we love to be able to share that, broadly with other industries as well. But as we're looking at talent, those who value a very educated community and one that focuses on those industries certainly might be more keen to join us.
We have a mutual friend, and let's just say that they have a place out of state, and so every now and again we get to see it. But I've always been blown away. It's an hour outside of Atlanta. Kia built a giant factory in the middle of nowhere.
Yes.
And when they did, everyone said, Kia, don't build that factory there. No one lives there. No one's going to work there. And Kia said, watch. We build this here. People are going to come here to work. And sure enough, Kia built this gigantic mile-long factory. It's a massive complex. And that entire community has boomed. People have moved in. Houses have been built. Businesses have come in. You get off on the exit. Everything's brand new. McDonald's is new. Taco Bell's new. Walmart's new. It's crazy how it's built. And I think at the end of the day, we live in a time where people want jobs that are competitive from a salary perspective, offer health care, offer benefits, and they'll come anywhere for those kind of jobs. And if you see in Midland, Dow's a great example. Dow, Corteva, DuPont, kind of how that is all spun out, right? People move here from across the world because the jobs are so great. But there's a second part to it as well. They want to come to a welcoming community and a great place to live and raise a family. And how important is that, Nicole, in your efforts in economic development?
Yes, it's absolutely critical. So we get the benefit of being able to talk about the incredible value proposition that an employer like Dow or Corteva or My Michigan Health, or name them, right? We have dozens of them. But we also get to balance that with the incredible quality of life that living in a community such as Midland offers. It's incredible to have. I can look out the window and nearly see the Midland Center for the Arts and the incredible things that asset offers. We live in an incredibly safe community and where education is absolutely prioritized. We've been talking about the environment and things happening at Midland High and Midland Public Schools in general. And so quality of life is incredibly important. As a matter of fact, and I think we chatted about this a little bit offline, we've spent about the last year working with Frank Films and our Talent X committee to put together a series of videos that focuses on exactly that. And so there's a quality of life video, recreation, education and workplace activities. And the reason that we did this is so that as our employers are providing an offer letter to a prospect to join their company and maybe move here, we also want to be able to show the community's value proposition. And so this incredible employer has this wonderful package for you, and that's what that looks like. But here's a video series that'll help you really get an idea and a feel for what it is to live here in Midland and be a part of the community. So a year might sound like a long time, but we do live in an interesting climate, right? So we see snow and we see incredibly warm days like today. And so being able to show kind of that year-round perspective was important to us. So we're really excited to be able to share that. So yes, quality of life is incredibly important.
That's a really interesting tool to be able to provide to employers looking to draw people to the area rather than necessarily hire locally. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be talking more with Nicole Wilson with the Midland Business Alliance here at the Dow Championship in Midland.
You never thought...
Welcome back to the Art Lewis Show. Jonathan Dent, Matt Falon hosting today from the Dow Championship at the Midland Country Club. And Matt, things are getting underway out there.
They are, and you know what I love? We have Nicole Wilson with the Midland Business Alliance, which has various things that they do there. And one part, or one major aspect, is they're a Chamber of Commerce. And have you noticed what's happened since Nicole sat down and is sitting here? Chamber weather is currently taking place. The skies are clearing. We see blue sky. The sun's coming out. Birds are flying by. Nicole, is this what you guys do as one of your chamber duties, is to make sure when a big tournament like this is taking place that you create that chamber atmosphere for everybody?
Yes, absolutely. Just really my arrival into the building just brought out the sun.
The sun came right out.
I mean, it's automatic how you did it. I joke because it's going to be an interesting couple days with the weather. It's going to be hot and humid and stormy at night is the plan.
At night.
At night only.
Keywords.
But it actually, we're sitting here overlooking the 18th hole. We can see the tee there. The Pro-Am's taking place. People are currently working hard to make one of these birdie putts out there. But it just, sometimes I pinch myself when I'm here at this tournament because it has the feel of being out in California. It has the feel of being, there's no ocean, but it's just as gorgeous as you would find any other golf course across the country. And you kind of want to remind people here in Midland and in the Great Lakes Bay region, don't take us for granted. Don't sell ourselves short. We're a remarkable community, a beautiful place to be, and I think this tournament does a great job really highlighting that.
And it's not just the course. There's so many different assets, not only here in Midland, but around the region as well. That's just fantastic. And you were talking a little bit about that, Nicole, with the video package that you send out to employers to send to prospective employees to get them moving to the region, show them what the quality of life is like here. Your realm is economic development.
It is.
It is. How are we doing?
Yeah, so Midland is really kind of a unique spot, and I'm reminded of this whenever I talk to my counterparts kind of across, maybe not just Michigan, but across the country and sometimes even globally, that we're a bit unique in having the concentration of industry that we have here, right, with Dow and Corteva and DuPont and even some of the smaller manufacturers that kind of fall in that supply chain. So it is a bit unique. We're doing pretty darn well in terms of economic development. We have recently had 2 of our local employers move forward with expansions. So a company called Aptar is in progress in construction in their expansion. And then my friend Kelly Weiner over at Case Systems on Monday night received approval on an industrial facilities tax exemption. So here's the nerdy part of economic development, right? When we talk about how we facilitate growth, is kind of helping some of those incentive processes to come to fruition. So really excited to see Case Systems do their expansion. They'll be underway mid-July. And off to the races on that one.
It's interesting that you mentioned some of the, I won't say smaller, but other manufacturers in the region, because often we think about Dow. Like we think Midland, we think Dow, but there really is a whole ecosystem of industrial work going on around this area.
Absolutely. Just mentioning a few, Midland Compounding is another that, we're engaged with right now to support their growth. I would be remiss if I didn't mention my friend Rob Musselman at Woody's, and that one's probably a little bit lesser known. So if you are a snowmobiler and you are looking for traction control, Woody's, and so they've been around for a couple of generations doing wonderful things, and just a really cool company.
So, Nicole, I'd love to ask you this question because one of the things that's great, we are not here today if it's not for Dow, right? And we're here at the Dow Championship. And a lot of communities don't embrace the chemical industry like we do here in Midland and the Great Lakes Bay region. So how do you balance your economic development? Do you lean more into let's bring more chemical companies here or associated companies that work in the chemical industry? Or are you looking at, hey, we need to diversify further. We can't just be, a community that's focused on X. We need X and Y and Z and A, B, C. And I think I know your answer, which you're going to take the easy route again on me. It's both, right?
Absolutely.
So tell us about that. How is it going as you continue to lean into the chemical industry? And then how is the work going on the diversification side?
Sure, absolutely. So as far as kind of leaning into chemicals, material science, advanced materials, and advanced manufacturing, plastics, resins, I can go on for a minute if you'd like, but really leaning into that industry and business attraction kind of completely is all about alignment, right? So the chemical industry or advanced materials isn't going to be right for every community. And so what we know is that Midland, and through Dow's leadership and Dow's example, has really shown a way to do that in a safe, responsible, and sustainable way. That isn't the case for every community or every company. And Dow places such an incredible emphasis on being safe and doing operations safely in that industry that Midland has been very welcoming to advanced materials and advanced manufacturing and chemicals for that reason. I think when you see kind of the stories that come out in the news with, this disaster or another that happens within the industry, we're incredibly blessed that Dow places such an emphasis on safety. And I think as a community, we've done a really great job of creating an ecosystem that is pretty well protected and separated from the whole, right? We're not building homes directly next to Michigan operations. But it's a really great spot to be able to locate those industries because of the workforce expertise that exists here and the research and development kind of concentration, if you will, that we do lean in a bit there, and we show how this ecosystem can welcome more companies similarly. If I were to go into the diversification piece, we worked with a company a couple of years ago called Research FDI, and post-COVID, post-flood, we really took a look at assets, infrastructure, and supply chain within Midland County and then within the region to an extent where it's applicable for industries to really understand post-COVID and post kind of some of those industrial shifts. What do we need to be looking for, and making sure that we're well aligning what we have in terms of infrastructure, assets, properties, all of the pieces that go into site selection, and understanding where it makes sense for those industries to locate, and then taking it a step further as we're working on business attraction. Where do the concentration of those industries or companies exist globally, right? So we've been able to, I shouldn't say exclusively globally, we certainly are working domestically as well. But being able to kind of know where those concentrations and where we align really well in terms of infrastructure and assets allows us to be really mindful about where we're spending our time and energy.
Nicole, it's great to have you in that role. It's great that we have folks like the Midland Business Alliance and others across the region who are focused on this work every single day. It's so vital to maintaining the businesses we have here, but continuing to build. And you're just kind of one of those, in my opinion, hidden gems that maybe not everyone knows about, but you're in the background every single day working to help build this region. So it's so great to have you out. Appreciate the chamber weather. You have a little bit more work to do to get us through the weekend.
I'll do my best.
We are now officially holding you personally responsible.
I'll do my best. I'll show up every day, and the sun will follow.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll focus a little bit more on the Dow Championship, specifically the volunteer side of things here on the Art Lewis
Got a
Show.
home repair problem? Don't get mad.
back to the Art Lewis Show. Jonathan Dent, Matt Falon filling in for Art today from the Dow Championship. We'll be in for Art in some combination of the two of us for the rest of the week. Here
Yes, some of us can only do a couple days. You know?
Some people are busy, I guess.
I can't complain. It's a travel day Friday, good family vacation. There's nothing I can do. When your wife says you're going somewhere, you
Hold
just
on,
say,
hold on.
yes, ma'am, and you go.
You're going somewhere else, but you're going to come here on the radio and tout about how this region is great and we've got the world-class everything right here. Why are you going anywhere else?
Because my wife told me to.
Oh, okay.
That's just how that works. she said, we're going on vacation. You just say, yes, ma'am. You pack your bag, you get on the plane, and go.
Well, if I heard correctly, our next guest is here partially because of his wife as well. Chip Rathjen is one of the transportation coordinators here at the Dow Championship. Chip, how you doing today?
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you.
So,
Yeah, and in the background, please.
I do recognize you do what you need to do.
And please welcome to this episode of Marriage Counseling with Jonathan and Matt and our guests today, teaching you how to keep a happy marriage.
That's exactly right.
So, Chip, you're involved with the volunteer side of things, and I imagine it takes a lot of volunteers
It's
to get a tournament like this moving.
Unbelievable. I'm not here for my wife.
Oh.
That would be a different set of responsibilities.
Oh, okay.
Actually, my sister is
Your sister, that's right.
tournament director, and apparently a number of years ago I kind of got voluntold. As a retiree, I had time. Why don't you come back home and help out? They needed help in transportation. It is very diverse. It's nonstop, literally from 4 in the morning till the last person needs to get home, either from the club to the parking lot or to a shuttle service or whatnot. And so we roll for a pretty long day for a majority of the tournament. And a number of our volunteers started to show up last Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Before most of our guests arrive, and it's nonstop.
Yeah, we were talking with our shuttle driver on the way out here, and I was surprised. She said, "Yep, started around 5 o'clock this morning," and she said it was late last night that she had gotten wrapped up too. So,
Yep.
long days.
They are, but happy customers, happy guests.
Oh, yeah.
People seem genuinely pleased to be here.
So I'm so glad we're talking about this because, our goal, one of the things that we hope when we come out to the event and broadcast, is for you, the listener, to hear this great event's taking place. The number one, it's accessible, it's affordable, and it's easy to get out to. But I think people that know this course in the area know, hey, wait a minute. The parking lot at the Midland Country Club isn't the largest parking lot. Clearly not everyone can be there. And that's not where you park. How does it work? So if I'm just Bill and Sally right now, and I'm listening out there, and I'm like, you know what, we should go out there this weekend. How does this work? Where do they park? And how do you get everyone here?
Well, if you're fortunate to find a street adjacent within the quarter mile, half mile, maybe you'd be lucky enough to walk in. But I know that they're instructing most of the guests to head out to City Forest. They're running shuttles for people to come out there and park their car, and then they'll hop on a bus, and the bus will literally drive them right to the front door of the facility. And those are running nonstop. They're on a continual loop, and you can go out there. In the past, they've been able to afford that also at some closer venues, i.e. the Center for the Arts, but this summer things are rather torn up, and so you make accommodations, and you just say, all right, it might be 2 miles farther, but we've made all the bus accommodations we can handle, and you'll be here within 15 minutes.
I will say that this year is a challenging year with the streets torn up. I don't care if it's at Midland High, at Dow Diamond, or at Midland Center for the Arts.
Yep.
Apparently, we are fixing all the roads in Midland in one summer, and it's happening right now, everybody.
Apparently, it's even going to be for next year. They've got another side of the street. Apparently, they're working on them. But I reside in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, and so we're virtually the same geography as far as weather. And I mean, look, April comes, snow's gone, out come the yellow cones, and it's that famous line. We have winter and we have orange cones.
Oh, yeah.
And those are our seasons. And I see this here. They're wasting no time.
Not at all. And they're not wasting the weather either.
No, not at all.
They don't. No concern for a golf tournament going on. We got roads to fix.
Yeah, but your previous guest is in charge of the weather.
There we go.
She's right now
Yeah.
doing a great job as blue skies open up.
So I'm not looking for an exact number here, but it probably takes a ton of buses to keep something like this moving. Can you ballpark how many vehicles we have moving people?
Boy, I can't,
No.
because that's being contracted by a service. But let's just say that you continually, every 5-10 minutes, you're seeing another big coach bus just
Yeah.
show up and drop off a number of guests. And I know they're not waiting for the bus to be full. They're running it on a schedule. And so, look, if one bus ends up full, but the next bus only has 30%, it's on a clock, and they're gonna honor the time schedule, so we keep people on schedule.
So you don't have to wait too long
No,
sitting there.
no.
Yeah,
Very
and
nice.
what I think I would tell our listeners, this is what you need to know. You go park at City Forest, you always have to park somewhere. The buses are right there. You jump on it, takes you straight to the gate here.
Absolutely.
It's very convenient. It's very easy to get in and out. I would much rather do that than walk a half mile anyway. You park right there, you walk a few feet, you're on an air-conditioned bus. It is literally door-to-door service. I give this tournament all the credit in the world handling the logistics like that. They really take care of fans that are coming in. So if you're listening thinking, wow, this is complicated, please know it is not. The Dow Championship and the team do a tremendous job making sure that we can bring as many spectators out. You get dropped off at that door, and boom, you're right on the course, and you're in, and it's just a fantastic experience.
Absolutely. I don't know any professional organizations as far as sporting events that do it much differently. I mean, you'll find this in any major metro city. Park here, we'll bus you in. And then when the event's over, the buses are only going one way. They're going back out to the parking lot out in City Forest, and boom, you're home.
World-class golf demands world-class service.
It does.
That's right.
It does, absolutely. And why would you expect anything less?
We're going to take a break. We're talking with Chip Rathjen. He is one of the transportation coordinators out here at the Dow Championship. We'll have more after these notes.
Gotta go.
Welcome back to the Art Lewis Show. You just heard that Bill Hobson will be talking about the Dow Championship in Midland over the weekend. But Jonathan Dent here, along with Matt Fallon. We are at the Dow Championship before it officially starts up tomorrow, and we're talking with Chip Rathjen. He is one of the transportation coordinators here at the championship, and we should make a mention. Parking is at the Midland County Fairgrounds. Two giant fields over there. I guess I only saw part of it when I parked today.
It's huge.
Just a massive amount. But yeah, really cool to see different organizations and things coming together to make this happen. Chip, we talked a little bit about the transportation side of things. Now let's talk about the coordination side of things. What's it take to keep volunteers running for something like this, where there's just so many different moving pieces?
It's weeks and weeks of emails and texts, and you're going to have web pages just directing people to saying this is how it's going to happen, and the program has been tested. They've refined it over the last couple of years, but I really salute the directors of the tournament. They have this figured out. And so very little has had to change over the last couple of years. But as far as then our volunteers that are helping with transportation, we're bringing in 12 to 14 drivers in the morning. We have 12 to 14 in the afternoon. We have 10 at night. And these individuals are there just to run certain routes on players, caddies, coaches. If they need to get back to Curry, where our driving range is, or we're running shuttles then from Curry back to the country club. And there are a number of individuals between all that time that might just say, well, I'm done for the day. Could I have a ride to the Holiday Inn, or could I have a ride to the H Hotel? And we're happy to do all of that. It's built into the system that we have that kind of flexibility to still run regular routes, so that the players, the caddies, coaches, any of the folks that need to get to and from Curry and back here for play, they can do that, and we're on time. But we have enough volunteers just to be helpful. if somebody says, all right, they need to go back to the hotel, we can do that. If we have someone leaving and heading off to the airport, then we build that into it, and we run numerous airport shuttles every day.
Are you still looking for volunteers for driving?
No,
or
I think
anything, or
I think we're set
Okay.
right yet. So from what I heard, as long as everybody shows, and we haven't had but just one individual who was sick that couldn't make it.
Jonathan, I'm glad you asked that question, though. So let's say that someone's listening right now and like, geez, I want to do that, and I want to do that for next year. How does someone go about signing up and getting themselves set to be part of the transportation team?
You would look under the website for the tournament, and there are numerous opportunities to volunteer when you go under that tag. Then you have to decide whether or not, look, are you interested in transportation? Are you interested in support for a marshal role, or if you'd like to be involved in food service or general ticketing and welcoming of guests? There are numerous drop downs that you can just find the opportunity of where you want to serve. Within transportation for us, as far as driving vehicles, then we do make sure someone has a valid driver's license, and we don't have any of those kind of problems. So driving in particular requires some degree of scrutiny, but we will make sure that we've got safe people out there on the road that can move our people. And that's just doing due diligence as far as what you would expect if you're taking care of people in a car. We've got safe drivers. They know what they're doing, and they're properly vetted. But to answer your question, there are numerous tags that you can just find on the website as where would you like to serve and volunteer. And I know, what is it, over 900 volunteers make this thing just roll, which is amazing. And I'm proud that the community steps up and helps make this the success that it is.
You know what I noticed, Chip, and what I love? So you come in every year from Wisconsin, right?
That's
You come in
correct.
from Oshkosh. You keep coming every year.
Yeah.
Most years I tee announce as well, out on 10.
Yeah.
And what always strikes me, the same volunteers are in the tent and on the tee at 10. It's the same people. They love it. And it's not just, from what I've seen, kind of a one-and-done thing. Folks who come out here and volunteer and give their time, they enjoy it so much, they become stalwarts, and they come year after year after year.
You're absolutely right. And I recognize many of the faces of the people who are our drivers. We're blessed to have that kind of commitment to this tournament. And I think a number of them all realize what this tournament means within the greater scope of the LPGA. We're fortunate to have it here. It's a unique format as far as the pairs, but also what it means to the community. We're very fortunate to have guests come here, and as a former resident who grew up here, I'm happy to be part of the group that shows this off to the world. This is what this provides for us. It's just an outstanding venue, and couldn't be prouder that the world gets to see Midland, Michigan via this tournament.
It's a great experience, and it's people like you working behind the scenes that really make it like that. So thanks for taking the time to join us.
My pleasure to you both. I've enjoyed
Thanks,
it.
Chip.
Thank
You
you,
bet.
Chip. We'll be right back to close out
Ready
after
to
this.
update your home and
That'll do it for the 9 o'clock hour here on the R. Lewis Show. Jonathan Dent and Matt Fallon broadcasting from the Dow Championship here at the Midland Country Club. We'll have much more coming up in the 10 o'clock hour. But before that, the news, ABC with the national and international reports. Then back in the WSGW newsroom for the state and local news.
broadcasting from the